Hello and welcome back to another episode of our We're Starting a Farm series here. And today I wanted to give a little bit more context and insight as to why I decided to tarp our entire field of grass where we're going to be planting all our vegetables in the spring. These guys are wondering what the heck I'm talking about. Yeah, so it occurred to me that I didn't really explain why I was tarping our field here. And to give a little more context into that, it's just that, a lot of people would assume, most farmers would just till up the soil to get a farm started. And not that that's a bad thing to do, and I think a lot of farmers, like if they move to like a new plot of land and don't have a lot of time, that might be something you just have to do to get started and start producing food. But in our instance here, we have the ability of time to wait until the following spring until we're ready to start producing food. And from research that I've done, I found that a simple silage tarp, a thick tarp designed to withstand the sun, solar rays and all that, and last for 5 years at least, probably longer, can do a lot of the soil work for you. And I really like that. It's very simple. I like simple things. So when you till up the soil, you're actually disturbing a lot of the microbial life. You're messing around with the worms. You want the worms in there. You're messing with the soil life. And every time you till, that top layer of soil is getting decimated, really. I mean, it will come back. But new style of farming is this no-till variety, which we're going to be trying here on our farm. And it uses a lot of very simple techniques, like using the tarp to, over time, let nature run its course and turn something like a field of grass and let it break down, decompose, and turn that organic matter into soil. And we'll be able to simply plant layer compost on top of where this grass was in the spring, and we'll be able to plant right away, which is really cool. And I actually, our previous video where I introduced that we're starting a farm, I actually filmed that back in August, and for whatever reason I just haven't published it until now, and whatever day it is in November, all the days are running together. I don't know what day it is anymore. But that was back in August, and now we're in the middle of November, and I just thought, man, it's been a couple months now. Let's see exactly what this tarp has done in those months since we first put it down. So here we go. As you can possibly see here, this is just a little bit, but you can see all the grass has died, obviously, and you can see down to we have a very clay-like soil here, very thick clay, but all that grass has died. And the cool thing also that the silage tarp does, it's actually good for weed prevention. So when you put down the tarp, the dark, moist environment is actually good for germination for most things, specifically weeds. The weeds will germinate beneath this black tarp. But what happens is they're going to be growing and reaching for the sunlight, and they're not going to be able to get to it because of the tarp, and they're going to die. So you're working towards killing off those weeds before become a problem, which is really cool. And something that you could even do, on a smaller scale in a small garden of yours in your backyard. You could get a small tarp, whatever size your garden is, and do that to your soil at the end of every season, which is something I think we're going to do in our own garden on the other side of our property, where we're growing more of a food for us this year. So yeah, this is why I like using the silage tarp. This is the first time I've ever used it, but in just a couple months here, we are already breaking down our existing grass and turning it into what will be a nice, healthy soil structure for when we start growing food in the spring. So if you found this video helpful, give us a like, subscribe to our channel if you haven't already, and thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video.
Lucy, is this our tiny house?
Yeah. Bubble.
What?
Bubble.
We do live in a bubble, don't we?